Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Phil Bonomo, and I have the pleasure of being the director of the Retention People North America. And it's a real pleasure to have so many of you attending our webinar today. It's exciting that we have a real great relationship with Shape.net, which is your member management system. And this hour is really dedicated to you to help you improve your facility's member retention and loyalty. A couple things before we start, and that is if in fact you have any issues with hearing the presentation today, please feel free to uh, basically reach out, ask a question. You see the question box on the right-hand side of your screen. I'll keep my eyes open for those questions. Or additionally, if you have any sort of technical issues that you want me to pay attention to, you'll see a little in your dashboard. You'll see a little hand which allows you to kind of raise your hand, and I'll take a look at that as well. So let's get on with the webinar. I'm hoping that we can stop just a few minutes before the hour so I can answer any questions that you may have. And as I'm going on, please feel free to use that question box in your dashboard and ask any questions that you may have. And to the extent that I'm able, I will go through that and answer any questions up to the 3 o'clock hour. And then we'll let you go on your way. I know you're all very, very busy people, so we want to be very mindful of your time and very respectful of the time that you're investing with us today. So we are the Retention People, and we have a great partnership with Shape.net, and that's why you're here today. So let me start by telling you a little bit about us, and this will just take a moment, but we are the only firm in the global fitness industry that focuses exclusively on member loyalty and retention. We do research, we develop software, and a number of our software tools are now integrated with Shape.net, which is good news for you. And then we also do training and coaching. I honestly believe that we have some of the best minds in retention and loyalty in the industry that work with and for the Retention People. And these are all at your beck and call. So as we move our paradigm as an industry from being really sales focused to being very holistic in focusing not only on selling but also on retaining members and keeping members happy, keeping members as raving fans, we are here to serve you and to provide you the input you need in order to be further successful in your fitness pursuits. Let me just give you a quick overview of who TRP is. We are a UK company based in Bath, England, Bath, UK. Wonderful city. If you haven't been there, I suggest you go there. It's an outstanding destination. And we have offices in the US, Canada, and Australia as well. So 4 locations, currently serving about 1,000 customers worldwide. And we focus exclusively on retention research and customer experience management solutions. And I'll talk a little bit about CEM, customer experience management, in just a little bit. One of the real benefits to you as Shape.net customers is we've just gone through a technology initiative with the Shape.net team to integrate our software in real time with Shape.net. So a number of the solutions that we provide are actually available to you fully integrated in real time with your software, which means that we can communicate with and provide you statistics of your active member database at any given time. We serve a private public sector split, so we're very agnostic. We're all about improving the fitness experience and extending that experience over time to your benefit and certainly to the physical health and well-being benefit of your members. We also have a very, very strong partnership with IHRSA, the International Health Racquet and Sports Club Association, and I would encourage you to reach out to us if you haven't already participated to participate in this free North American member loyalty study that we are currently doing. Also on the call today is my associate, and Sophie Adams is here. And what she will be uh, ready to do is to follow up with any of you who have any additional questions about our products or services, and to provide you the information that you need in order to make an intelligent business decision. Here's our model, and I think it's a very, very unique model in the industry because everything that we do is research based. We're currently monitoring about 15 million member records, and one of the real benefits of that is that we are actively tapping into the largest active member database in the fitness industry, and that's very compelling. And there are going to be a number of reasons that I'll mention to you later that really leverage that. We use our insight to develop our products that are all under this umbrella of customer experience management. We develop software. We as well develop training programs, and we also do quite a bit of consulting in the industry around the issue of member retention and loyalty. We're constantly learning, so we're learning from our customers. We're learning from industry trends, and we use that learning to really feed back into our product development. One of the things I want to point out before we get into the meat of the matter is this whole idea of retention. And the fellow there that's on the right of your screen, he happens to be someone who is a real fan of TRP and a real someone that we really consider closely when we think about health club member retention. And this is a fellow named Frederick Reichelt. And we'll talk a little bit more about him and about one of the programs that he developed that we're deploying now. But there's a very important statement that he made that I feel really does sum up what we ought to be focusing on as an industry. And that is, retention is not simply one more operating statistic. It is a central gauge. And I would actually suggest that it is the central gauge that integrates all dimensions of a business, all dimensions of a health club, and measures how well that firm or club is creating value for its customers. It is the single indicator for measuring sustainable growth. Now, you notice what's really absent in that quote is anything about sales, anything about revenue, anything about profit. And the fact of the matter is that if we pay attention to retention as an industry, sales, revenue, profit, and impact, certainly on the health and well-being of our members, is actually going to happen as a result. So by focusing on retention, we take care of a number of initiatives. Um, I did want to point out, and here's Fred here. He's on the cover of Club Business International. We did a cover story back last November, so just about a year ago, on customer loyalty, and that's when we were launching our member loyalty study here in the North American market. We also developed, for those of you who are IHRSA members, we develop a series of actually quarterly member retention reports, and you can go to the IHRSA website and download them. Very good reading, excellent statistics, and really actionable information. Um, when we think about member retention, we're talking about really a challenge that has really been existent in the industry, certainly for as long as I've been in the industry. And right now, I'm in my third decade as a fitness professional. But the biggest issue that we have is, how do we retain members? You know, we do a great job selling. And in fact, if you look at this graph here, the y-axis here is how many people are still members, and then the x-axis is the months since joining that particular facility. But if you look at it, we all can claim that 100% of our members are members on the day that they join. And I think that's very exciting. I think and certainly our members are very excited about entering into a fit and healthy lifestyle and starting on that path of wellness. But then we see something very dramatic begin to happen. And it happens, unfortunately, very early in a member's tenure with us. And that is that this this curve just begins to drop. It's kind of like that first dip in a roller coaster that we take at an amusement park. We begin to see members just begin to drop out. They're falling by the wayside. They're quitting in tremendous numbers. So we do a great job selling, but then we see this retention rate just begin to fall off. And our research has shown, not certainly not surprising to many of us, that really after 12 months, about 50% of those members that joined have actually left our facilities. What this means is that over the course of 12 months, you literally have to sell as many members as you have to just stay even. So it's an extremely difficult process overall across our industry to retain members. And the news, unfortunately, gets worse as we look at 24 months, 36 months, 48 months. After 48 months, we're clearly not doing a great job retaining members, because after 48 months, on average across the industry, we're keeping about 20% of those members that joined 4 years ago. This is a very inefficient process. When I show you a graph, one of the things I want to point out is that everything below this line is representative of revenue for you. Everything above the line is really opportunity for you. And so anything that we can do from a retention standpoint to begin to flatten out this line in some way, shape, or form, even a couple of percentage points, what we're doing is we're taking opportunity, which is above the line, and we're turning it into revenue, which is below the line. One thing that we really truly focus on is the benefit of interacting with our members, really embracing members, building a relationship with them, understanding who they are, what they need, and why they need it. And so we do a great deal of research in the art of the interaction, and how a professional interaction with a fitness professional in a health club can actually extend member lives. And we do quite a bit of research in that. And in fact, we look at this as a retention rate by interaction. And this is an aggregate of a number of the research studies that we have done. But what we've discovered is, and if you look at this key here, we have a blue line which says we've had zero interactions with members. And certainly, I think as you folks, as high touch fitness operators, the idea of actually having zero interaction, zero conversation, zero emails, zero phone calls with a member is almost unheard of. And yet, the fact is that many clubs do exactly that. They sell a membership, but they don't service it. They don't interact with the members. This next key uh, uh, looks at 1 to 3 interactions. So when we've had 3 quality interactions, or up to 3, with a member, and that's represented by the red line. And then when we have more than 4 interactions, that's represented by the green line. And if you look at this, clearly, when we look at members who have had no interaction whatsoever with their facility, we see a dramatic drop off in membership. In fact, a 50% retention rate with those members after only about 7 months. So that's a really, really um, uh, trying and troubling result, because the fact of the matter is that every member that we sell at the 0 month mark, when they become uh, part of our facility, when we don't have interaction with them, we're seeing that literally half of them are dropping out of our facilities after just a few months. And the fact of the matter is that when we look at these interactions, and interactions are really, good conversations that we have with members. They're an opportunity to communicate with them via email, via phone call, to coach them on the fitness floor to improve their member experience. When we have just 1 to 3 interactions, we see a dramatic increase in the staying power of that membership. And in fact, that retention rate extends to about 11 and a half months. So simply by interacting with a member, by showing them that you care, by not ignoring them or just treating them as a number, we're seeing a dramatic increase, really, of about 4.5 months as a result of those interactions. And the real amazing statistic is when we up those interactions by really simply a factor of one to go to four or more interactions, we see that that membership can extend actually at least 18 months. Now let's do the math a little bit. So at 11.1 months, say you're charging $50 a month, you're actually generating an additional $555 per member. So the big question becomes, how do we really prioritize in our facilities that whole concept of retention? We spend an awful lot of time identifying ways to sell memberships. We come up with new opportunities, new deals, month-end closing, two-for-one opportunities. The list goes on. So we're constantly trying to find ways to mine the marketplace and to get new members into our facilities. The whole concept of keeping members, though, really becomes something of a second fiddle in many of our operations. And how do we begin to change that? How do we get our keeping customers procedure as extensive and really deserving of our concentration and focus as finding new customers? So that's where the TRP steps in, and that's where TRP, with our relationship with our friends at Shape.net, step in. We've developed this whole suite of tools, and they include software, training, and coaching around this concept of customer experience management. How can we close the gap between an organization's promise? We promise to get you in shape. We promise to help you lose weight. We promise to shape you up. We promise to give you more muscle mass, and the delivered customer experiences. Members dropping out after 12 months. 50% of our members are leaving our facility. So how do we close that gap? How do we make our promise the exact experience that our customers are having? How do we create a dependable population of customer advocates? These are people that are actually raving fans of your business, people that will preach and shout your message from the mountaintops to get them into your facility. And then how do we transform the customer voice, the customer opinion, the customer perspective into business intelligence that is actionable and can really add to your bottom line? So what we have done is we've really taken to the task this whole idea of developing a customer experience management suite that allows you to manage that on an ongoing basis. And again, to reiterate, we want to improve the member experience, we want to promote customer loyalty, and we want to increase income by improving member retention and increasing referrals. And the one thing that we do day in and day out as a company is we focus on how do we extend the average life of your member. If we can, through our programs, take 1,000-member facility and extend that average membership length by 1 month simply through our initiatives. When you do the math, think about 1,000 members, 1 month, and 1 month of EFT. If you're charging $50 a month, that's $50,000 directly to your bottom line. And it's all about really paying attention to the details, and we do that for you. So one of the things that we've done with Shape.net is we've come up with a selection of programs and opportunities that integrate in real time with Shape.net, and these are really meant to focus on retaining and extending member lives. And really, three of these programs, all very distinct, but all very integrated. Our digital program it essentially replaces any sort of email program that you have in your facility, whether you're using Constant Contact or MailChimp or retention management. This is a program that actually blows each one of these out of the water. It's fully integrated in real time with your member management system, so it's as easy as pie to set up and send out an email to all of your active members without even having to upload a file. It also utilizes what we call our risk of dropout algorithm. And because we're tracking these 15 million member records over time, we're actually able to identify members that are most likely at risk of dropout. In fact, we can help you target members that may very well be on their last visit with your facility. And then our digital product takes over and sends research proven automated email messages designed to get them re engaged with the facility, to increase their visit frequency, and to essentially extend their member life. Another cool thing about the system is that it does the same thing with text messaging or SMS as it does with email. So imagine simply setting up a text message to all of your members for whom you have a mobile phone number and telling the system, please send each one of my members a special message on their birthday. And that message can include come in and redeem this message for a special gift at the facility. Ways to delight your members are what we build in to our systems because that's about building the customer experience and developing raving fans with your business. But it does much more. Every single one of the email communications that you're currently doing can be done through the Engage CEM suite, the digital product. You can not only tap into your active member database to send out emails, but you can also upload files similar to what you do with a Constant Contact or a MailChimp or a retention management. So it is that powerful in that it has this full integrated feature, but it also acts as your email engine. We also give you a tool that allows you to update your social media, primarily Facebook and Twitter. So through digital, you can communicate with your members, and every communication, by the way, is through our definition and interaction. So we give you the tools to deliver powerful communications, powerful interactions with your members on an ongoing basis. I'm sure you'll all agree that every member's experience is directly related to that first experience that they've had with your facility. And typically, it's the first 8 weeks. When a member is engaged, excited, enthusiastic, and energized about their fitness program within the first 8 weeks, their tendency for staying with your facility over the long term and providing you a revenue flow over the long term increases. And that's exactly what our Commit to Success program does. This is again an automated email system, but it has a human element attached to it, where at the point of joining a facility, we actually ask or we train actually your staff to ask members to commit to success, to make a minimum commitment of 2 visits per week for the first 8 weeks. And we actually have them write it down. I intend to come to this facility on Tuesday of this week, on Thursday of this week, on Monday of next week, etc. And then the system takes over because we're integrated with Shape.net. We actually track member visits. And if a member's visit frequency drops below that 2 visit per week threshold, they begin to get research proven emails that are meant to encourage them to keep up their commitment and to re engage with the facility. Additionally, if a member exceeds that 2 visit per week frequency, they're sent congratulatory emails encouraging them to keep it up. By getting this level of member stickiness during the first 8 weeks, by encouraging them to make that commitment and to adhere to that commitment, it dramatically impacts your ability to retain members over the long haul. And it provides a level of interaction, very intense interaction over those first 8 weeks to keep members committed to their fitness program. The third product in our suite with Shape.net is what we call NPS Survey Plus. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Net Promoter Score in a bit. But it allows us to survey members on a quarterly basis with a industry standard called Net Promoter Score, actually used by many of the Fortune 500 companies. So first, let's talk a little bit about digital. It is fully integrated. It allows you to deploy targeted email, text messaging, and social media updates. We actually tested All of the messaging that's built into the system has been tested over 200 sites via a controlled research study. And we're actually able to identify those members through our risk of dropout algorithm to identify those members that are high risk of dropout and to intervene with them before they actually do quit your facility. And it allows personalized, powerful marketing tools, emails, text messaging, and social media updates. So the mailing system has built into it a number of emails that track a new member journey. So from the first day, every time a new member joins, they get an email that welcomes them to the facility, and this is all fully automated. All you need to do is turn the system on. If a member has not attended within the first week, they get an email that essentially encourages them to fulfill their commitment and to attend. If a member has attended within the first week, we send them a congratulatory email. And then typically after the first month, they get an automated email if they've attended the facility that basically says, well done for your first month. And then we have these high risk emails that are built in. And anytime a member is determined by our system to be at high risk of dropout, they get a series of 3 emails at about 7 days, at about 14 days, and up to 21 days that essentially encourage them to recommit themselves to the facility. We're tracking their visit frequency, and as their visit frequency drops, they are put into a high risk category, and these emails are really essentially meant to triage them and to get them back on the path of health and fitness. So they're automated, they're retention based messages that allow us to reach out to the member at a time when they need it the most. We're also able to develop mailings based on a number of different criteria within your membership system. So you might decide to send a birthday message to every member on their birthday. So long as it's in your member database, you can set that up. You set it up once and you forget it. The system will automatically send these emails out to members on their birthdays. You could send out emails to females only, males only. You can slice and dice from an age standpoint. Based on their particular activities, you can send them emails that target specific activities within the facility. So the opportunity to tap into your active member database and get them more fully engaged in your facility is there with TRP Digital. The commit to success, as I mentioned to you earlier, allows us to increase retention and referral by getting members to commit to and then to actually adhere to a minimum of 2 visits per week over 8 weeks. And members who stay on average up to 7 months longer than members who visit less frequently. So utilizing the Commit to Success program, we're actually able to add months on average to every member. And this is deployed through our TRP digital platform. So that's Commit to Success. And then we have NPS Survey Plus. This is the Net Promoter Score. And I'm going to go a little more deeply into this in a moment. But I think the whole idea of creating member loyalty now is more important than ever in our industry. We all have creeping, growing competition in our marketplace. And so when a member begins to commoditize their their fitness experience, that allows them to make a decision based on one thing and one thing only, and that is price. And when it comes to price, very often, because we are high touch organizations, high touch facilities, we find ourselves at a disadvantage to the budget operators in our marketplace. So it's very important for us to manage the loyalty of our members and to make our members what are called raving fans of our business. And NPS does that. I showed you the picture of Fred Reicheld earlier on, and I would encourage each one of you to pick up this book, the Ultimate Question 2.0. It's a follow-up to the original book that was written by Fred Reicheld called The Ultimate Question. And it's a wonderful book that allows us to really understand how to operationalize improving member loyalty within our facilities. This is an ultimate question that is used by successful customer-focused businesses, and everyone else. So if you've ever been a customer of Hyatt or Amazon.com, Apple, JetBlue, Zappos, Wegmans, literally the list goes on. These are all companies that utilize what I'm about to present to you and what's available to you through our Survey Plus product. The Net Promoter Score is one simple question. And the cool thing about it is that it takes away a lot of bias. We all often want to find out what are our members thinking about us. So we'll ask them, how do you like our locker rooms? How do you like our reception area? How's the fitness area? We ask them questions that essentially lead them to an answer that we want to get from them. The ultimate question is very, very different in terms of it simply asks a question open ended that says, how likely is it that you would refer our company to a friend or a colleague? And then we give them the opportunity to provide an open ended response. And what's great about Net Promoter Score is we're taking all the bias out of the survey, and we're also taking all of the monotony and the length and the time necessary to prepare this survey, to fill this survey out, because we're only asking people to answer one question and then to tell us why. And as Fred Reichelt and his team at Bain and Company, which is a major um, uh, corporate management firm, developed, is they said, look, we want this metric, we want this scale, this survey to really move companies to trying to build customers and members who are promoters of our business. And so they actually made the survey weighted more toward what is called a detractor. So if I fill out this survey and I give you a 0 to a 6 through Net Promoter Score standards, I'm considered a detractor of your business. I really don't have a whole lot to say about your business. If I give you a 7 or an 8, I'm considered a fence sitter. I'm kind of position neutral. I could go either way with your club. I might be willing to stay, but then again, I might be willing to join if the price is right down the street. Our objective and our focus and our commitment to you is how do we turn all of our members into promoters who give us a 9 or a 10, who are raving fans of our business, and who, through our research, are proven to be a great source of referral and additional spend within our facilities. And we do a number of seminars around increasing promoters to really add to the bottom line, and the additional spend itself, the expense of non-dues uh, uh, money is significant to many clubs that deploy Net Promoter Score. Imagine having less dependence on your monthly EFT because you're clearly generating, 40 to 45% of your revenue through non-dues means, personal training, uh, apparel, logo wear, special classes, small group training, etc. And these are the things that loyal promoters buy in your facilities. So how do we get these members to think about you as promoters? So let's say we send out this survey, and by the way, when you deploy our NPS Survey Plus product through Shape.net, you are actually sending out an automated email on a quarterly basis to every member, and it's staggered based on their join date, so that the emails go out on a kind of a steady drip fashion over time. And so if you get the email and it asks you on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend or a colleague? Let's say we send this out to 10 members, and 4 of those people give us a 9 or a 10. That's a great start. 40% are promoters. Let's say 4 of those people say, well, I'll give you guys a 7 or an 8. And so those are the fence sitters. So out of the box, about 80% of our respondents have actually given us a score of 7 or above. And then that leaves 2 or 20% as detractors. But the way the Net Promoter Score metric is calculated is meant to really compel businesses to move their culture toward one that makes raving fans out of all of their customers. So the metric is a very harsh one, but something that is really a great learning experience for all of us. So as we calculate this, what we do is we actually take these fence sitters, these people that are position neutral, and we actually drop them from the calculation. And so what started out looking very positive, we actually get a net promoter score of 20%. Now, by comparison, some of the best companies in the world, companies like Apple and Amazon and Zappos and Sephora. These are all companies that are extremely happy when they get a net promoter score of 60 or above. And so the benchmark really is it's not about getting to 100 because 100 is nearly impossible. But we've delivered scores to clubs across this country that have gotten 75, 80% net promoter scores, and those are indeed very remarkable scores. It's a very powerful score because it probes really two dimensions of loyalty. We use our head and we use our heart. So the head, and this is really reflected in that 0 to 10 score that we provide, but the head really focuses on, they provide the best features, the best service, the best price. But then there's the heart. And this really focuses on how to become loyal to a brand or how a brand really endears itself to its customers. The heart is really the key to the matter. They know me, they value me, they listen to me, they share my values. And when the heart is an important component in loyalty, even if the price is telling the head you can get that price better or get a lower price elsewhere, the heart is saying yes, but you know what? I really, really like this company, this club, this opportunity where I'm pursuing my health and fitness goals. This fellow here is a terribly inspirational fellow. Many of you may recognize him as Leonard Bernstein, and he's really one of the great American composers and conductors. And he had a tremendous quote that I'd like to have you take with you today, and that is when it comes to building loyalty and extending member lives, increasing retention within your facilities, remember this. To achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. We in the fitness industry run on a 30-day cycle. We're constantly building up toward that end of month where it's critical for us to make those sales that we've projected at the end of each month. And then it starts all over again the following month. What's important is when we think about integrating retention and really focusing on making our members loyal, it's critical for us to have a plan, but to also have a sense of urgency. We're all going to go back to our everyday tasks and duties when we're done with this hour. But the fact is that now is the time for you as an organization to come up with a plan to really complement your sales efforts with retention and loyalty efforts as well. And when you focus on retention, when you focus on loyalty, you build value with the customer and you also build value with your team. Your team really becomes more committed to your purposes, to your goal. When you are focusing on something that is as important and is as deeply and heartily embedded in people as building loyalty and retaining them for the long period. And we really want to retain our members, don't we? We want to make sure that every member comes into our facility as often as they can so that we can help them on their journey to improving health and well-being. That's what we're in business for. We're not just an EFT factory. It's about making real change in people's lives. But I would encourage you, please focus on a plan around building member retention and loyalty, and then have a sense of urgency. The first of the year is coming up. We've got, I'm sure, great sales objectives for 2014. We know what our competition is. We know what they're charging. We've got clever plans and schemes and marketing campaigns planned to really get out there and compete in the marketplace. but what are you thinking about when it comes to retaining your members over the long period? Because clearly the sale is really the first step in a long journey. So make a plan and give yourself not quite enough time. Have a sense of urgency about making sure that your members are retained and they're delighted by the services that you provide. And that will allow you to compete with any competitor in the marketplace. So, what I'd like to do now, before we wrap up, is to take any questions that you may have. And what I'm going to do here I see a number of questions that have actually come up. One of the questions is about the interaction. And a good question is when we talked about those interactions and those interactions really having an impact on member retention, the interaction in what period of time? Typically, our time scale is within a year of membership. And I know that sounds like a long period of time, but the fact is that sometimes clubs don't interact with their members at all. And so when you're able to have quality interactions with a member within their first year of membership, you're really increasing the propensity for them to stay with you for a long period of time. Uh, Another question is four or more interactions per year, and that really does speak to that first question. But I wouldn't stop there. We want to build a culture in our facilities that is one that really embraces the customer. It's absolutely critical, I think, in order for us to feel like we're doing our jobs and to feel fulfilled and happy with what we're doing. The fact is that interaction should really become really part of the art of servicing our customers within the facility. I go to a small club every morning. I arrive at 5:30 in the morning, and typically at the front desk there's one or two or three people that alternate as the front desk person, and two out of the three are terrific. These people, they know my name. They greet me with a smile. They congratulate me for my commitment to health and fitness, and they actually act like they're my friends. And there's another person within that facility who barely makes eye contact. Well, I would suggest that the most important thing is to have that interaction that makes you feel like you're actually talking to a friend. And we actually give full day trainings on the art of the interaction. It is often not an easy undertaking. Many of us have the natural ability to interact, but really understanding what is it that I can say to help improve a member's experience and help extend their lives, that's absolutely critical. So I think four more interactions, that really is kind of a baseline. Uh, if you can build into your facility and into your culture uh, what that um, uh, what that interaction uh, is focusing on, I think you're going to um, do a great job. Someone asks, what is the requirement for new TCPA regulations and how does this program apply? I can honestly say I don't know what TCPA is. So if the person that asked that question can shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to have an offline discussion with that person. And I'll show my email address on the last screen. So please reach out to me and we can have further discussion around that. Another question, can you customize the email options as to how often and to how many you can send out? Absolutely. The programmed emails are really sent out based upon behaviors. So if a member's visit frequency drops below a threshold, they will get customized emails. If a member's uh, risk of dropout increases because of their behaviors, their geographics, their demographics, their visit frequency, they will get automated emails. But you can set up any number of email communications yourself and program them to go out to members over time. So it really gives you tremendous flexibility as to customizing emails and sending out as many as you want. However, the caveat is you always want to communicate with your members but you don't want to over communicate with members. That's a very, very critical distinction. So those are the questions that came in. If there are any further questions, what I'd suggest that you do is please feel free to reach out to me, and there's my email address there, and reach out to Sophie, my associate, and there's her email address and phone number as well. We do a number of things around member retention and loyalty. We're really the standard bearers for health club member retention. And so we do management forums. We just got back from a retention summit in New York that was extremely well attended and extremely well received. And we're planning to do a number of summits across the country this coming year, as well as roundtable discussions on member retention and loyalty. So let's make sure that you're part of our email list so that we can reach out to you and alert you to the upcoming events in your area. So we also do regional seminars. As I mentioned, we do research articles, um, and those are available either through our website or, as I mentioned earlier, through the IRSA website as well. Yeah, we do webinars. We do monthly webinars, more informational webinars about member retention and loyalty. We have one coming up in December, a very timely one. We have one coming up actually on Thursday of this week, another very timely one. So feel free to stop by our website and sign up for those webinars. Very educational. The one in December is going to be pretty exciting because it allows us to focus on, how do we in the heat of the moment when we're selling new memberships at the first of the year, how do we sell to quality members, to members that have a greater propensity for staying longer in our facilities? So we'll be tackling that question. So the webinar on Thursday is about really making member loyalty and retention part of your culture. It starts at the top. It's critical that you as operators embrace retention and loyalty as strongly as you embrace membership sales in order to really round out your facility and to really set it up for sustained success. So that's my presentation today. I want to thank you all for attending. You've given us a great amount of attention and very valuable time. One last question came in. How does the program, what does the program cost through Shape.net? And we've actually developed some very, very favorable pricing with Shape.net customers, and we'll be happy to prepare a custom proposal for you as a Shape.net customer to leverage the TRP tools. So, since there are no more questions, and since you probably have a long to-do list for the balance of the day, we'll let you go. But I want to thank you so much for attending this webinar. And I did record the webinar, so if you have any associates that you want to listen to the webinar, please feel free to reach out to me at philbonomo@theretentionpeople.com, and we'll make sure that we share the webinar recording with you. So have a great afternoon, and here's to retaining our members and keeping them loyal over the long period of time. You take care now. Thanks. Bye-bye.